and welcome to the Archives. We're back again, and today I'd like to talk to you about the Terminal Directive Corp Cards this time. Also, to let you know, I have had a chance to play Terminal Directive. I've played through the Corp side of it, completely through the end, and I actually ended up winning, which was fun. I'll be talking more about the Terminal Directive and the campaign cards, though I won't be spoiling any of the campaign cards. But I will be talking about the campaign and my thoughts on it after I've had a chance to play through on the runner side as well. That's going to be coming hopefully soon, and but between now and then there'll probably be this episode and another episode covering Earth Scion, which came out I think not that long ago. So yeah. But before we do that, we're going to jump right in and talk about these cards, the Corp cards. So let's do that, and we'll bring up the first one. Here we have Sadar Laboratories. Destiny Defined, Haas-Bioroid, Identity Division, 45 card minimum deck size and 15 influence. The first time each turn the runner loses or spends a click during a run, you may add one card from Archives to the top of R&D. Interweaving the past and the future. I like this identity. This is the one I played in my Terminal Directive campaign. When I played the Corp, I played Sadar, and I really like this identity and division because if you're running Haas-Bioroid, you're going to be running Bioroids, which have opportunities for the runner to lose or spend clicks. And there's some other HB ice and whatnot that loses clicks as well. I really like this because you're basically, with this identity, unless the runner wants to give you cards back from Archives, they are going to have to make sure that they break all of your subroutines. They can't click through it. They can't afford to lose anything. Although there is some upgrades and whatnot that can make that even harder on the runner. One in Terminal Directive, in fact, but we'll get to that soon. I like this identity a lot. This is one that I will probably end up playing more of going forward. Yeah. Alright, let's move on to the next card. Here we have a Haas-Bioroid agenda. Brain rewiring. 3 credit to res, or 3 credit to score, 1 agenda point. It is a security agenda. Got a lovely image of a brain being literally rewired. I have a feeling that might be a Bioroid brain, maybe? When you score brain rewiring, you may pay X credits to force the runner to add X cards from his or her grip to the bottom of his or her stack at random, then draw 1 card. So what this does is you can pay, if they have 5 cards in hand, you score this, you can go, I pay 5 credits, you put 5 cards, your whole grip, on the bottom of your stack at random. Then you draw 1 card. The runner, not the Corp. So they always have 1 card in hand. But if you have a couple neural EMPs, when you score that, boom boom, net damage, net damage. Could be fun. They have the flavor text of the black level clearance sub basement of Haas-Bioroid is a magical place. Now, when I was playing Terminal Directive, I made a comment to my opponent. And he said, when it comes to Android Netrunner, if you think it's a reference, it's a reference. I think this is a reference to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because Agent Coulson had a similar thing going on. Lasers burrowing into his brain as it was making him back to bring him back to life. And he kept saying, Where it happened was called Tahiti. Uh, where he thought he was recovering was in Tahiti. And that was the name of the project, Tahiti. And anytime anyone asked him about Tahiti in the entire first season, he kept saying it was a magical place. Huh. So I think this may be a reference to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If so, awesome. All right, on to the next card. Here we have Elective Upgrade. 5 credits to score, 3 agenda points, and initiative agenda. Place 2 agenda counters on Elective Upgrade when you score it. A click and a hosted agenda counter will gain you 2 clicks. Use this ability only once per turn. So this is basically, you pay 6, you basically pay a click and you advance this 5 times. So basically 6 clicks to get this advanced and scored, and then you have 2 biotic labors. You can only use one of them a turn, but you basically have 2 biotic labors at that point, just sitting off there that can be popped at any time. It is nice. I have used this. I managed to score one of these early, and it ended up winning me the game because I used the 2 agenda counters on it to be able to score 2 more 2-pointers quite quickly. I was happy. All right, on to the next. Here we have Successful Field Test. 4 credits to score 2 agenda points. It is an agenda research. When you score Successful Field Test, install any number of cards from HQ ignoring all costs. That's nice. It's almost like a beta test. Or no, it's accelerated beta test. It's almost like accelerated beta test, except you know what you're going to install and you get to pick. So you can just install any number of cards, assets, ice, install it and ignore all costs. If you got a handful of ice when you score this, you can beef up your servers instantly. Boom, 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 boom. It's a nice one. I've used it a few times in my Terminal Directive campaign that I played. You got Floyd here on the cover. That's the Bioroid standing there. It's from a piece of art that I've seen about Bioroid possible murder. So yeah, I like it. I do like this one a lot. This goes in some of my decks soon. All right, on to the next. Here we have Estelle Moon, an asset executive, unique, 2 credits to res, 3 credits to trash, 2 influence. Whenever you install a card in a server, place 1 power counter on Estelle Moon. Trash, to draw 1 card and gain 2 credits for each power counter on Estelle Moon. Now this is nice because if you get this installed, res it for 2, then you install 2 more cards that turn, that's already got 2 power counters on it. You can trash it at any time, so chances are the runner won't run it. They probably will sometimes because they want to get rid of it. But if it's installed and resed and has counters on it, you can pop it for a paid ability trash once it's a successful run and before they access. So you can pop that, gain, if it has two counters on it, that's 4 credits and 2 cards. If it has 5 counters on it, that's 10 credits and 5 cards. I've done that and flooded my hand. This is the kind of card I think you want to have out early in the game to get your card draw and to build up your money. But it's also one you don't want to leave out too long. Because the longer you leave it out and you're installing cards, the more counters get on that. And the more counters get on that, when you do trash it, you get a lot of money, but you're pulling a lot of cards out of your deck too. And that can be problematic. So this is a card you have to really be careful with when you're using it. But I like it. I do like that. I know there's some people that hate this card. I've heard a lot of talk going around about Estelle Moon being broken, and oh my God, it's the end of Android Netrunner as we know it. I don't think it is, but I like this card. All right, on to the next. Here we have the MVP of my Terminal Directive campaign that I played. This is the MVP, Maryland campaign. A happy childhood lasts a lifetime. You see the Haas-Bioroid. Oh, it's a nanny bot. 2 credits to res, 3 credits to trash, 1 influence only. This will be getting splashed around a lot. Asset advertisement. Place 8 credits on Maryland campaign when it is resed. When there are no credits left on Maryland campaign, trash it. Take 2 credits from Maryland campaign when your turn begins. If Maryland campaign is trashed while installed, you may shuffle it into R&D instead of adding it to archives. Which means when this is trashed by the runner, it doesn't go to archives, it gets shuffled back into R&D for you to use again. When it is finished paying out and trashes itself, it gets shuffled back into R&D instead of going to archives. The only way this gets trashed straight into archives is if it is accessed from your hand or from R&D, or if you do have it installed but not resed. So if the runner is running on a server with a Maryland campaign on their turn, pay the 2 credits to res it. If they trash it, oh well. You're out 2 credits, but Maryland campaign goes back into your deck. If they don't trash it, you've got it res for when your turn begins next turn. So you don't have to worry about doing it. This one kept me in money, and I think it kept the runner from stealing too many agendas from me, because every time it trashes and it goes back in the deck, you have to shuffle your deck. Which can be good things for you, but it can also mean the runner can force a shuffle if they aren't getting agendas, and possibly hit some agendas that way. Or it could just shuffle them away from the runner too. You don't know. That's the neat thing. I love this card. This card is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, on to the next. Here we have Eli 2.0, Ice Barrier Bioroid. 5 credits to res, 4 strength, 2 influence. The runner may spend 2 clicks to break up to 2 subroutines on Eli 2.0. 3 subroutines on it. The Corp may draw 1 card, and the run, and the run. So if the runner is going to click through this, they'll spend 2 clicks. They're going to destroy. They're going to break both the and the run subroutines, which means you get to draw a card. Free card draw. Flavor text of a new game means new rules. Now, one of the things I remember from Eli 1.0 is you have the little Eli boy there, and it looks like he's building with blocks or playing with blocks on a wall. This one, it looks like he's building a house of cards. So it's definitely got a similar theme. I also really like the look, even though Eli 2.0 kind of looks a bit like an emo goth teenager now. That's okay by me. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Alright, on to the next. Here we have Executive Functioning and Codegate AP Tracer. 2 to res, 1 strength, 3 influence. You've got an interesting looking 4-armed Bioroid with his face split open and some kind of glowy thing in the middle. Trace 4, do 1 brain damage. Now I believe this has been errated to trace 4 if successful, do 1 brain damage, but it's kind of implicit if you're doing a trace, it has to be successful. Flavor text of, strictly speaking, it isn't illegal to use an interrogation simulator as the blueprint for ICE. quoted by Mason Bellamy, who we will see in a minute. Yeah, using an interrogation simulator as the blueprint for ice. Dear Lord. Alright, on to the next. Here we have Home Guard. Sentry, Tracer, Destroyer. 7 to res, 5 strength, 2 influence. Trace 4. The runner cannot access any cards during this run. None. And then another one, Trash 1 Icebreaker. If they faceplant into this, it could be good for you. And we got the picture of the dude in armor with a bow and arrow. Very, very nice. I like this card. I used it a couple times, but not often. I was relying on some other ice in my campaign. Alright, on to the next. Here we have another piece of ice. Tapestry. Just a straight code gate. 5 credits to res. 6 strength. 1 influence. 3 subroutines. The runner loses click if able. The Corp may draw 1 card. The Corp may add 1 card from HQ to the top of R&D. Flavor text from Reaver. The warp and weft were hypnotic, but they didn't really seem to do anything to keep me out. But then I never seemed to find anything interesting either. Because you're drawing a card and you're putting one back on R&D. See, I like this for if, like, you stick this in front of R&D and you can pull cards and add cards on top of R&D so that they're not getting what they want to get. It's nice. And the picture does look like it's some smoky threads or something that's going to be moving constantly back and forth. I didn't use this one in my games, but yeah, pretty cool. Alright, on to the next. Here we have Ultraviolet Clearance. A 6 credit to play, Operation Transaction Triple. As an additional cost to play this operation, spend 2 clicks. So this will cost you your entire turn. 3 clicks to play. Gain 10 credits and draw 4 cards. Install 1 card, paying all costs. 4 influence. So this isn't getting splashed out anywheres. Not unless they want to pay 4 influence. If there were hidden partitions on the server, I'd know I'm the head of this department. Yeah. And we have what seems to be a woman in a dress with a floppy hat on, made of light. So yeah, if there were hidden partitions on this server, I'd know. I'm the head of this department. That line alone just tells me, yeah, you don't know nothing, buddy. I haven't used this one yet, but I can see this having a place in one of my decks. I've got a next level design deck that runs a lot of that has like the blue level clearance, green level clearance for monies. This would go well with it, I think. Yeah. All right. On to the next. Oh, what's this? Black level clearance? 4 credits to install, upgrade security protocol, 1 credit trash, 5 influence. Whenever there is a successful run on this server, the runner must either take 1 brain damage or jack out. If the runner jacks out, gain 5 credits, draw 1 card, and trash black level clearance. Flavor text, even knowing this floor existed was cause for termination. ... What kind of termination? We're going to leave that up to your imagination. I like this guy set up. He's got the thing shooting into his eye. He's got his hands through these look like glowy, almost like he puts his hands in there and it's like he's manipulating virtual reality through it. It's really cool. I had this, but I never got it never got pulled for me to use it when I was playing Terminal Directive. But I can see it being fun. Get that installed in a server with an agenda? Go ahead. Come on in. You're going to take a brain damage. And maybe I'll have an Ash in there that'll trace you, and you can only access Ash that turn. So the next time you have to run, you're going to have to take another brain damage. Lol. I do like this card. And I like the fact that it gets to like black level clearance. We're not doing operations anymore. This is something you have to install. But it's an upgrade, so it's decent. All right, on to the next. Here we have Mason Bellamy. This is the one I was mentioning earlier I was going to talk about. This is the art on this guy is based off of Damon Stone, I believe, if I recall correctly, because it looks a lot like him. 2 credits to Res, upgrade Sysop, 3 to Trash, 3 Influence. Whenever an encounter with a piece of ice protecting this server ends, in which the runner broke at least one subroutine, he or she loses a click if able. Flavor text of, they say he is an ex-runner. I don't know if it's true, but he is chrome to the gills and seems to know all the runner's tricks. So this one, in conjunction with Sadar, means you get this installed in a server, and if they run it, they're going to be losing a click. Unless they run last click, they will lose a click for breaking subroutines and getting by a piece of ice. The only way they don't is if they let it fire. If you got end the runs, they're not getting in anyways. But they do that. They pass one, they lose a click. The next piece of ice, the encounter, they break subroutines on that, they lose another click. This can wipe your turn out for clicks. For like 3 pieces of ice, you get 3 pieces of ice. Yeah, you can get in and you might trash him, but you just wasted your turn to get in and trash him. And the first time that happens, Sadar's ability would trigger and let you put a card on top of R&D. So yeah, I dig it. This could be the sort of thing you could have, and with Sadar especially, throw in some like snares that will trigger from R&D, and basically be like, I'm running R&D. Mason Bellamy's there. He triggers. We're gonna go and put a snare on top of R&D. Do you want access? No? Okay. I like it. It could be fun. Neat little things. But I do like Mason Bellamy. I did use him some. I definitely want to stick him in a deck with Heinlein Grid and maybe Strongbox to make a really tough server for the runner to get into. I like it. All right. Now we're going to move on to Weyland cards with Scorpios defense systems. Persuasive Power. It is a 40 card minimum card deck, 15 influence. Subsidiary identity. Whenever a runner card is trashed from any location, you may force the runner to remove it from the game instead of adding it to the heap. Use this ability only once per turn. Flavor text of might makes right. So once per turn, any event you play or any card that gets trashed will the Corp can force you to remove it from the game. This is hard countering against recursion decks. So unless you are careful in how you do things, recursion can be a problem up against Scorpios. But Scorpios only has 40 cards, so they're going to want to fast advance stuff, I think, in Scorpios. I don't think they could last a long game. But it's a nice, as I mentioned when I was looking at the spoiler for this card a couple months back, or last year I think actually. Now that I'm thinking on it, this one will be nice against parasites, Because if they are going to use parasites, if a runner will use parasites on this, um, they will only get one kick at the can for a parasite to get rid of a piece of ice. Because all you have to do as Scorpios is wait. Wait for that parasite to be trashed. It's on a location. It's a runner card. They trash a piece of ice. Great. Buy parasite. It's gone from the game. So they only get 3 chances to do that. That's it. And I like it. Because it makes the runners have to do things a little differently. It makes them have to think. Yeah, I dig Scorpios. Alright, let's have a look at the next card. Here we have Armored Servers. 4 credits to advance. 2 advancement points, agenda points. Security agenda. Place 1 agenda counter on Armored Servers when you score it. Hosted agenda counter. For the remainder of this run, the runner must trash a card from his or her grip as an additional cost to jack out or break a subroutine. Use this ability only during a run. Oh, that looks brutal. So yeah, they want to make a run on a server that has an agenda in it. You don't want them to get that agenda. So you can go hosted agenda counter. They have to trash a card if they want to jack out or break subroutines. This can be especially brutal on the first piece of ice. If it has 4 or 5 subroutines on it, and you trigger that, they've just lost their entire hand because they either have to let the subroutines fire if they don't want to lose their hand, or they break all the subroutines, they have to trash cards from their grip to do that, and jack out. I wonder if that would flatline a runner. Because if they have to trash cards from his or her grip as an additional cost to jack out or break a subroutine, that might actually end up killing the runner. Because it wouldn't be doing damage, but if you could get it that in order to break, say, a piece of ice with 5 or 6, even just 5 subroutines on it, then if they have 5 cards in grip, they would have to trash all of those cards from their grip. They'd have no cards in hand. And if they haven't pulled any new ones into their hand and don't have a way to do that, in order to jack out, they would have to trash a card. In order to continue, they'd have to trash more cards, but they wouldn't have cards in hand to trash, which I think might be a flat line. Because it doesn't say here, the runner must trash a card, it says, from his or her grip as an additional cost to jack out or break a subroutine. It doesn't say if able. So I think this might be a flatlining thing. I'll have to check into that. But I like the idea of it maybe being that. So yeah. Alright, on to the next. Here we have illicit sales. It is 3 credits to advance, 1 agenda point. Agenda expansion. When you score illicit sales, you may take 1 bad publicity. Gain 3 credits for each bad publicity that you have. Anything to anyone for the right price. And it has sale. You see shirts, or possibly armored vests, weapons, and there is a briefcase nuclear device sitting there on sale that the little kid is staring at. Just crazy. Crazy, Weyland. What are you doing? I like this idea, though. I've got a Weyland deck that I've just got, like, I don't care about bad pub, so it's like bad pub, everything. So you score this, you get 3 credits immediately. But if you've already got bad pub, you'll get more. Could be handy. Could be handy. All right, on to the next. Here we have Graft, a agenda that's just an agenda. 5 credits to advance it, and 3 agenda points worth. When you score Graft, you may search your deck for up to 3 cards, reveal them, and add them to HQ, shuffle R&D. Now I wonder, because this has a briefcase on it with 2 lights to either side. It's full of like bearer bonds and stuff. And it looks like the same briefcase that was on sale that has a nuclear device. Because the nuclear symbol should be on the opposite side that we can't see. I wonder if that was actually basically a false thing where they put this out and it's like, yeah, it's a nuclear bomb, it's on sale, but no, it's not. It's something else. It's interesting. I like this one though for Bad Pub. If you've got a way to, or not Bad Pub, I'm thinking of the other one. This card is for revealing cards. Gets you 3 cards right out of the deck. And if you manage to pull it right, you can get like 3 agendas. Because it just says cards. But you have to reveal them. I wonder. Alright. Anyways, on to the next card. Here we have Illegal Arms Factory. 3 credits to res, 6 credits to trash, 2 influence, asset facility illicit. If the runner trashes Illegal Arms Factory while it is installed, take 1 bad publicity. When your turn begins, gain a credit and draw a card. So your turn begins, you gain a credit, you draw a card, then your mandatory draw happens, so you're getting 2 cards every turn. As long as this is active. And it's only if the runner trashes it while installed, take a bad pub. You can trash it just fine, and nothing happens. And 6 to trash, that's a hefty trash cost. For a runner to have to pay? Oh yeah. For sure. Alright, on to the next. And here we have Mr. Stone. He is unique. There's a couple of dead bodies there. His guns are smoking hot, like he's just killed a whole bunch of people. 2 credits to res, 2 to trash, 4 influence. Asset executive. Whenever the runner takes 1 or more tags, do 1 meat damage. Now, the way I read this is that anytime they take tags, so it's an individual tag giving. They take 1 tag, they do you get a meat damage done to them. They take 2 tags, they get 1 meat damage done to them. They take 6 tags at the same time, in a big batch, they get 1 meat damage. But if they take a tag, then take a tag, then take a tag, then that's 3 meat damage because it's done separately. The wonderful flavor text of VP of Retirements and Pensions. So is that HR or accounting? And the reply is just both. Just both. I like it. It's good. All right. He did some work for me in Terminal Directive campaign, especially with one of the campaign cards that aren't tournament play. Synergized wonderfully with this guy. So yeah, he did quite well. Alright, on to the next. Here we have Bloodletter. It is a piece of ice, a Sentry Destroyer, 3 res cost, 4 strength, 2 influence. 1 subroutine of the runner must either trash 1 program or trash the top 2 cards from his or her stack. So it could be a bit of a hefty cost to break through. I don't think Mimic breaks through this easily. I think Mimic is strength 3. But, yeah. Definitely can do some damage if the runner can't get through that. Because it's either 2 cards from a stack, could be potential good things, or trash a program. It's up to you, buddy. I use this a little bit. Not a lot. I splashed it into my Sadar deck. But I can see how it would do well in Weyland. Oh, yeah. Alright, on to the next. Here we have Colossus, a Sentry Destroyer. We got a giant man with an electric sword. 6 credits res, 4 strength, 2 influence. Colossus can be advanced and has +1 strength for each advancement token on it. If Colossus has 3 or more advancement tokens on it, resolve the parenthetical text instead, otherwise do not resolve it. So, without advancement tokens, you have 2 subroutines. Give the runner 1 tag, trash 1 program. Pretty decent for a strength 4 sentry. You get 3 advancement tokens on it, it goes up to a strength 7 sentry, and it has the subroutines of give the runner 2 tags, trash 1 program and 1 resource. Becomes even better. Colossus is a workhorse. It will do quite a lot of work for you. Yeah, it looks good. I didn't get a chance to use him. I was banking on other strategies, but I would splash him into decks. For 2 influence, yeah, I would splash him into decks easy. Alright, on to the next. Here we have Hailstorm, an ice barrier. 6 credits to res, 5 strength, 4 influence. For a very good reason why this is a 4 influence. They don't want this out of Weyland too often. 2 subroutines, remove a card in the heap from the game. End the run. Just straight up, remove a card in the heap from the game. Not a trace to do it. Nope, you hit that subroutine, it fires, it's like, take that card, get it out of the game. Go ahead, run again. Let me take some more cards out of the game. That is a detriment. Not a detriment, there's a word starting with a D. Deterrent. That's it. Definitely a deterrent. I like the artwork too, because he's got the hail coming down, pummeling something. It's pretty cool. Alright, on to the next. Here we have Hortum. 4 credits to res, 4 strength, 2 influence, ice code gate. Hortum can be advanced. If there are 3 or more advancement counters on Hortum, its subroutines cannot be broken by AI programs, and resolve the parenthetical text instead, otherwise do not resolve it. So without advancement tokens, this has subroutines of the Corp gains a credit and the run. Put 3 advancement tokens on it, AIs can't do anything to it, and it has the Corp gains 4 credits, and the other subroutine is search R&D for up to 2 cards, add them to HQ, shuffle R&D, and the run. So not only is it giving you money, it's giving you cards and ending the run. So Hortum's pretty nice. I like Hortum. I used it a few times in my Terminal Directive campaign. I liked it. Alright, on to the next. Here we have Hunter Seeker. 2 credits to play Operation Double, Grey Ops. As an additional cost to play this operation, spend a click. So it's going to cost you 2 clicks to play and 2 credits. Play only if the runner stole an agenda during his or her last turn. Trash 1 card. 2 influence as well. And it's got one of these drones with lights or hover things and like machine guns on them. Nasty pieces of work. I know people hate this card. I've heard lots of people talk about it. How, oh my god, Hunter Seeker's horrible. I hate it. It's such a bad card. I hate it. Mostly because it tends to win games for their opponents. Would be my guess. Alright, on to the next. Here we have KP Lin. 1 credit to res, 3 credits to trash, 2 influence, upgrade executive. An executive that's an upgrade. That's not common, if I remember correctly. Whenever the runner passes all of the ice protecting this server, he or she must either take 1 tag or end the run. I can see putting KP Lin into a server with like black level clearance and be like, alright, come on in. You need to take a brain damage and a tag if you want to get in. I kind of like it. And the lady here on the thing, she looks she got the pad, she's got glasses that look like they're holographic. Yeah, she looks nice. I like this card. Alright, on to the next. Now we're into the neutral cards. Here we have Paper Trail. This was another MVP. This helped me quite a bit. Definitely did some momentum hits to my opponent. Paper Trail, 4 credits to advance, 2 agenda points. It's a security agenda. When you score Paper Trail, trace 6. If successful, trash all connection and job resources. No influence on this one. So this can be splashed in any deck. But, trace 6, trash all connection and job resources? That can be handy. You're scoring agendas anyways. It's 2 points to you, and you just trashed a whole bunch of cards for the runner. If the trace went through, you're gravy. I like it. I do like it a lot. On to the next. Here we go. Honey Farm. When I first saw this card, I wasn't impressed, but I got impressed a little bit later on after I thought about it. Honey Farm, 0 credits to res, 2 to trash, no influence, asset ambush. If Honey Farm is accessed from R&D, the runner must reveal it. When the runner accesses Honey Farm, he or she loses a credit. So if they access this from R&D, they immediately lose a credit, and if they want to trash it, it's 2 more. If they don't trash it, you get to install it somewhere, and it becomes another. It becomes a trap, loses them a credit, etc., etc. The neat thing about this that made me happy, though, I realized this fires from archives. Because I've got I'm still working on an industrial genomics deck that has 3 shocks and 3 CQs to throw into archives to do net damage or lower the agenda points that the runner has, and then throw these ones in archives. They still access every card in archives. So yeah, it's you get 3 of these, you get 3 shocks and 3 CQs. The runner accesses it, and it's immediately 3 net damage, lose 3 credits, and me the Corp will pay 1 credit each for each of the CQs. That's 3 more net damage unless you take some of them for minus agenda points. What now? What now? I like it. Honey Farm's a nice little card. It's definitely going to be finding a way into my into my industrial genomics deck. Alright, on to the next. Here we have long-term investment. It is an asset, 2 credits to res, 4 to trash, no influence. When your turn begins, place 2 on long-term investment. If there are at least 8 credits on long-term investment, in gains, click, take any number of credits from long-term investment. So you install it, res it before your turn begins, it gets 2 on it. 3 turns later, you can take 8 credits off it. Or you can leave it to keep building up. But the longer you leave it to keep building up, the more chances the runner will come in and trash it, etc., etc. It's never good. But yeah, it's not a bad little card. I thought about using it, but I wanted to bank on more stable means of economy. So yeah. Alright, on to the next. Here we have Weir. An ice code gate, 3 credits to res, 3 strength, no influence on this beast, and it has 2 subroutines. The runner loses a click if able. The runner trashes 1 card from his or her grip. Not bad. I like it. Simple, effective, to the point. Doesn't end the run, but it can cause trouble. Yeah, not bad. Alright. So we're going to go to the last card. And here we have IPO. 8 credits to play. Operation Terminal Transaction. After you resolve this operation, end your action phase. So you always want to play this last. 8 credits to play it, gain 13 credits. This I love because this worked extremely well with hedge fund. You could go hedge fund, first click. If you had 2 of these in your starting hand, had an IPO and a hedge fund in your starting hand, you could go hedge fund, gain 4 credits. Now you have 9. Install something, probably a piece of ice. IPO, gain 5 more. So now you're up to 14. I mean, that would be great, especially if you had, like, I don't know, a Janus that you wanted to res. Yeah, IPO is fantastic for a transaction. It's a terminal, so you just play it last. That's fine. I don't mind that at all. But yeah, with that and hedge fund, two wonderful cards for the corp to make money. And then Maryland on top of that, that was most of my money cards. I had 3 Marylands, 3 hedge funds, and 3 IPOs in my Sadar deck. I had some archive memories. I put 3 of those to pull any IPOs or hedge funds that I wanted out. Maryland's just kept getting shuffled back in and coming back out, so I wasn't worried about them. They kept making me money. I was pretty good for money with that. This card I love. IPO is going in all my corp decks now. All of them. I really do like it. So yeah, that's it for the Terminal Directive Corp cards. What do you guys think about that? Have you played Terminal Directive yet? If you have, what do you think about it? Please, no spoilers for the campaign cards. I don't want anyone to spoil the campaign cards because I want people that are playing it to find these corp cards as they unlock the sets and doing cool things. And stay tuned sometime in the future for when I do get around to talking about the campaign itself, the ups and the downs, and what I think about it. But for now, that's going to be it. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, if you like what I'm doing, please give that like button a tap. Give that subscribe button a tap as well if you haven't already, so you can be kept apprised of when I do new videos. And throw a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think about some of these cards in Terminal Directive. Sadar Laboratories is my new friend. So yeah, do all that. And until next time, remember, keep running.